Hello there. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to continue my playthrough of Dark Souls 1. Today we're heading into Anor Londo. We're going to go kill Smo and Ornstein, or Slam and Dunkstein. And we're going to get the Lord Vessel. It's about the midway point of the game. Somehow we've breezed through this, despite the fact that my mind is not really with it, because I'm talking. Doing well though, and it's been fun. It's been a good journey so far, and I'm excited to continue. In today's episode I'm going to do something slightly different, and I'm not going to do this often, don't worry. I'm going to talk a little bit more about myself and less about the game, because I figure as a YouTube musician turned Let's Player, I guess you'd say. A lot of you might want to know a bit more about me and, you know, music and stuff. I haven't spoken much about that, and that's kind of why you're all here to begin with. So I'm going to go through some things. Got a long history of being in bands and making music. A lot of stuff that I don't think a lot of you would know about because I haven't spoken much on it. So let's go. I've always felt like they probably intended to have a transitional area between Sens and Anor Londo, but perhaps it got cut or didn't come together. Because I just find it odd that a bunch of gargoyles carry you over. This game is odd though, so I might be completely wrong. Anor Londo. Infamous. Majestic. Look at it. So good. You know what though? As good as this place looks, I don't think it's a great level. It feels barren. I know it's supposed to, but I just feel like this is where the game starts to kind of nosedive a little bit into like the 7, 8 out of 10 territory instead of the 9 out of 10 territory that everything I've done so far is. I still love it though. When you've played something this many times, you will pick up on flaws. But I think it's good to be aware of flaws, and every single Souls game has problems, but they all have strengths and things that put them a cut above the other games, every single one. Of course, I'll get more into that as we go, and I would quite like to cover Dark Souls 2 and 3 and Bloodborne and Demon Souls. So, we have 60,000 souls. So, how many levels? 5? Yeah, I think I'm going to put them all into Dex for now. Give us a little bit more damage. Let's go. So on the subject of bands and music and a little bit more about me, I figure if you guys are kind enough to give me your time, I should let you know a little bit more about me. Because I've never been one to really put myself out there. Despite releasing guitar videos, I still very much keep myself to myself. But a few things about me. I'm 28. I'm 29 this year. I live in the south of England. I'm not going to tell you where. I've been playing guitar since I was 11 years old. So that's 17 years. That's a long fucking time. And ever since then, music has been the center of my world. For the most part. Not so much recently. I'll get into that. But yeah, since then, I used to spend hours from the age of about 11 till the age of 16. I would regularly just sit at home, get home from school and play guitar for 5 hours. 6 hours, 7 hours a day, sometimes more on weekends. It was ridiculous. I can't even imagine doing that now. Not only do I not have time, but I have to move on. I can't just sit there and practice anymore. Or if I am going to play guitar, I'm going to sit there and write. I'm going to do something that just feels a bit more productive. I'm not just going to sit there hammering through scales or anything like that. I want to write. I want to, you know. Anyway, so when I was 17 or 18, maybe 16 actually, I started my first band called Ruins of Earth. And you can find our music still online and some horrendous, cringy vlogs and vlogs. Who calls them vlogs? Vlogs. And all sorts. But our music's still up. And it's quite rough around the edges, and songwriting is obviously not very mature, but I think we did some good stuff. Considering we were all quite young, and we were just like a group of best mates writing metal because we wanted to. So following on from that, I think we were active for 4 or 5 years. We released 2 EPs. For a small band, we got around. We played some cool shows. We went on tour a few times. Made many memories. I look back fondly. We weren't a very professional band, but I don't think that was in our vocabulary at the time. We were just kind of having fun. Getting wasted. Good times. Anyway, when I hit the age of about 21, I was still in Ruins of Earth at this time. And I got approached by the drummer of a metal band called Malefice, who were on, at the time, Metal Blade Records, which is a big metal record label. What are some other bands that are on there? Devil Driver? I can't think of any others. Maybe, I think Cannibal Corpse were on there, or are on there. But yeah, they were on a pretty big metal label. And they were doing well, they were touring, they had albums out in the shops. And the drummer hit me up and asked if I wanted to go on tour and play guitar for them because they had just lost their lead guitar player. To which I jumped at the opportunity. The first tour that I was going to fill in for was a tour with a band called Silosis, which they're blowing up now and have been for a while. I'm sure some of you are familiar with them. The guitarist is also in Architects. They're a massive metal band. So we were main support to Silosis, and I went on this tour and I couldn't believe it. There were hundreds of kids at every show going absolutely nuts, banging their heads. And another thing that was just surreal was, you know, I would have people come up to me after the shows and they'd be like really excited to talk to me. And at this point I was just some guy that played guitar. It was surreal, but it was really awesome. And this was also when I got introduced to buyouts, which is when you're designated some money to get food at a show, and that's not a privilege that my previous band had ever had, really. We would get some petrol money if we were lucky. We obviously weren't doing it to make any kind of money, but if we could cover expenses, that was always nice. But I think Malefice... Have I even said the name of the band yet? Yeah, the band is called Malefice. You can find them on everything still. We're not active anymore. But we had a fee, so I think we would get like £300-400 a show. It was all in a contract of some sort. I didn't really deal with the business side of things, but it was all there. But I got to eat for free. I had my food covered, and I got a Burger King once for free, and I was just blown away. I was like, holy shit, I should do this for real. So at that moment I said, hey, if you need someone to stick around, I'll do it. And so I played in that band for maybe 5 years. I think from about 2011 till 2015, 2016. In that time, I toured with some really cool bands. I played shows with Devil Driver. I went on tour with Testament. They're a huge Bay Area thrash band, a band that I grew up listening to. What else did I do? Went on tour with Unearth, another band that I idolized when I was younger. That was just crazy. So I did some really cool stuff. We also did Download Festival, which is a big festival in the UK. We did the second stage, and that was just insane. We opened the main stage in Bloodstock, another big UK metal festival. That one's more like extreme metal compared to Download, at least, which is more, you know, on the lighter side. Some heavier stuff, some lighter stuff, some like, you know, you get your glam rock and stuff there as well. And we did Sonisphere when that was a thing. And that was wild. So I had played on big stages to big crowds. And it was really cool. And I did that for years. And the only reason I came back to YouTube, in fact, is because I gave it up. And I had the time to commit myself to other musical projects, namely doing video game covers. And I would spend most of a week, every other week, working on music for YouTube. Because I wasn't otherwise writing for a band or touring or anything like that. So I figured, why not? But I don't necessarily want to go into too much detail about why we stopped being a band. And I will say, if you're curious, I need to Kindle, man. If you're curious, you can check us out. I played on the 5 or V album. I also played on Gravitas, which is an EP we did. It was the last thing we did before we stopped. And I'm pretty sure it's all available on Spotify. And they did 3 albums before I joined. Musically, looking back, it's not really, I don't know, it doesn't really represent what I want to do with music anymore. But at the time, it was fine. They're great guys and I had a wonderful time. They were really nice for like just letting some random guy who was like 5 years younger than them just join their band and do all this amazing stuff. And it was good times, but I packed it in, namely because it kind of fizzled out. I wasn't really having fun anymore. I was having fun with the guys doing pretty much anything that wasn't directly related to playing the show. I really enjoyed. I loved like hanging out with the guys and having beers, and you know, we had a lot of fun on tour, but playing the shows after a while, it got a bit depressing. When you turn up to like for example, a shithole bowling alley that's been turned into a venue with no stage and you play to 20 people, kind of sucks. Oh, I don't want to say it sucks. I tried to give my all at every show, but it definitely, I don't know. It was one of those moments where I'd be like, man, if only I was just at home, you know, playing video games. And you know, there's a whole lot of like sleeping on sofas, and that's not how you jump. Yeah, a whole lot of sleeping on sofas, sleeping in mates' houses, had to sleep in the van a few times. It's rough. I think I just got... No, not going to bother with him. I think I just got my fix, really. We played 3 major UK metal festivals. Released some music, played with some of my favourite bands at the time. And that was it for me, really. I wanted to do something different. wanted to come back to YouTube. And so that's what I did. And then recently I released some new music that I did mostly myself. I had a vocalist provide all the lyrics and vocals, but I wrote all the music, produced it at my house. I got my friend Adam to mix and master it because I'm not very good at that, but I did pretty much everything else. I programmed the drums, I wrote everything, I recorded all the guitar parts, and that's definitely more that represents where I'm at with music. It's way heavier than what I did with Malefice. Also, I haven't mentioned this. That is, I mean, it goes without saying, that's why my name is Andrew Malefice, and I'm not sure if that's ever been clear. I didn't just choose that randomly. Like, it's a very common thing in like music scenes. People's handles would be name, band name, so nothing crazy there. But yeah, did some cool stuff and then moved along. Do I miss it? I miss certain aspects of it. Would I go on tour again? I'd have to have a long, hard think about that. I might leave some links if any of you are curious. I will say Malefice is not my proudest work. You want to hear what I consider to be the very best thing I've done. It will be the Lordship EP from my current band, the Mensis Ritual. We're a two-man band. And it took so long to come together. I was so, like, meticulous with it. I rewrote it 1,000 times. I almost thought I'd never do it. Because I'm such a harsh critic on myself. Sometimes you just need to step away and say, hey, that's done. And I know I gave it my very best, so that's what I did. And I'm proud of it, and I think it's awesome, and we're going to do some more. We're going to start working on a new EP this year. It's not going to be about Dark Souls this time. That was a one-off thing. Hopefully that doesn't upset some of you that might have listened to it. But there are other topics we want to write about. I think that's fair. I mean, when the project was conceptualized, these giants are pricks. We were going to do one song and that was it. So the fact that we did an entire EP that's like 22 minutes long, I mean, that's awesome. But yeah, I'm sure my vocalist, Matt, has more like real world or personal concepts and themes he wants to sing about, not necessarily linking the fire. I can't see what's going on. I realise I must have been going on for about 20 minutes about my bands and stuff, but I just thought it would be nice. You know, you guys are kind enough to sit here and listen to my voice. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and what I've done and why I am here doing this and why I started doing covers. A little bit about starting YouTube. I did this when I first got recording software. I had no idea what I was doing, and I believe I spent a couple hours putting together a cover of the menu theme. I think I was the first ever person, at least on YouTube, to do a Dark Souls metal cover. And I had no idea about production quality, mixing, anything really. And I'm pretty sure I recorded it, exported it and posted it in like a couple of hours from the start of the project to releasing it. It was only maybe 3 or 4 hours, I don't know. So I didn't know what I was doing, but apparently in like 2011 that didn't seem to matter because people loved it and that was awesome. So I came back to YouTube 2 or 3 years ago And it was a whole different ball game, really. Now there are so many musicians doing covers. It's a saturated market, and the bar is so high now. Everyone's got these like amazing videos, and like the quality of the music and the production is on point. So it was quite hard for me coming back because I realized how much I had to do to improve. But eventually it came down to I had to get a friend of mine to start mixing and mastering my stuff because I just didn't have the skill set, and it was definitely hindering my growth on the platform. So I got someone else to start mixing stuff, and that's the same guy, Adam Cox at ACO Studios. Check him out. He's great. He did a great job. He also did the Mensis Ritual EP and fucking nailed it. It sounds so sick. So big up Adam. I don't think he'd ever listen to this, but who knows. Right, anyway, enough about me. Head in the game. A boss that needs no introduction. It's going to use Power Within and go for it. See what happens. Let's go. Fuck. Welcome to Dark Souls. What an iconic boss fight. Damn. So fucking good. So hard. And the music. Just dope. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Fuck. I was unable to move. I left 20,000 souls in that room. Probably should have spent those before moving on. Oh well. You know what, if you ever lose a large number of souls, try not to worry about it. They're infinite, really. You'll get them back. Not a big deal. I know that's a cause for a lot of rage in this game. I've been there. Try not to swear, you know. Okay, let's do this here. And fuck the giants, because it takes too long, and I'm impatient. Oh, bastard, you fucking cunt. And that giant's right by the fog gate. Right, let's grab these. I want to kill Ornstein first. Super Smo is a little easier to deal with, I think. Although neither one of them's too bad. This phase is definitely harder, just because you're dealing with two opponents at once. But you want to use the pillars to kind of kite them round and separate them. Smo will quite often get himself stuck on pillars. Ow. Haven't really capitalized on my power. Oh, I fucking hate that move. Haven't capitalized on my buff. Oh my god. Could summon Solaire. I'm going to be stubborn though. I can do this on my own. I've done this at soul level 1. I mean, it took me about 100 attempts, but... Alright, Power Within, heal up. Through the fog door, and don't die this time. I will say, if you can beat Smo and Ornstein, you can beat the entire game. This might be the hardest... No, it's not the hardest fight, but... DLC bosses are harder, but you'll be... You know, your gear will be upgraded, you'll be a higher level. Risky plays. Right, you want to unlock the camera in this fight. Wow, that went over my head. Wow. You want to play unlocked because you want to be aware of where both of them are at any one time. Otherwise, you can quite easily get yourself killed. Need to heal. No, 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 no. No. He's done. Right, phase 2. Smoke's going to power up. And I don't think it's too bad now. I'd much rather fight 1 instead of 2, you know. Even if he's going to hit a lot harder. That move can be a problem, just don't get too greedy. He does love to spam it, as you can see. Fuck me. Getting some bleed damage definitely helps. Whoa. Nope. Yeah, I knew I was going to get clipped by that. Doing good though, he's nearly dead. One more hit. That's it. Praise the fucking sun. Oh. Smo and Ornstein down. One of the real brick walls that a lot of players will hit. It's tough. I mean, it's the first time you have to fight 2 bosses at once. Yeah, if you can do that, you can beat this entire game easily. The remaining areas, at least in the vanilla game, I don't think anything really comes close. Other than maybe 4 kings. They can be quite tough. Large chest ahead. I'm not ending the episode without first going in here. Where are my binoculars? I don't have any. Damn. Give me the Lord Vessel. Right, and now we can warp. Only to specific bonfires, not every bonfire in the game, but still very, very useful. We need to go and place it. But that is, that's a task for the next episode, so I guess we'll end it here. I don't know how long it's been, feels like quite a while. Anyway, as always, thank you for listening to me ramble and stutter and talk shit and play like dog shit. I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next one.